Hi, Dr. Alina Kulczycki, Boutique Bodyworks, lifestyle medicine, physical therapist, nutrition, fitness, and more. I'm going to show you how to make some lentils just nice and simple, and then keep them so that you can add them to your meals for extra protein, fiber, and nutrients. So let's start with making a little bit of preparing some things to add flavor to your lentils. So we're just going to use some onion and some garlic. Both, as you've come to know perhaps if you've seen my other videos, I enjoy using quite a bit for their flavor as well as nutritional properties. So I'm just going to chop this finely. And so they fall into the allium family of plants, which are high in sulfur. And as you may know from my other videos, sulfur is important in our diet. It is necessary for methylation. Methylation is a process in every single cell reaction in your body. So we need sulfur for methylation to happen for cellular function. And eating sulfur-rich foods is good for that reason. So we're also going to add some garlic. So I've got a couple of tubes of garlics here, or cloves. You're just going to take off those ends. Oh, it looks like they're in parts. So we'll clean those and then dice them up small. And so again, also in addition to methylation, sulfur in the diet through the allium family can help with mold allergies. So those of us living here in South Texas where mold is all year round, thanks to our heat and humidity, we have a lot of mold, a lot of allergies. So it has been proven through studies over the years that garlic, leek, onion, all those types of plants from the allium family can help our body combat the effects of mold, exposure to mold. And you can use a garlic press, of course, to prepare the garlic, which is maybe easier, but I hate cleaning that garlic press, so I just do it old way. And let's leave those to the side. Okay, so let's just chop these up nice and small. Now, some people don't want to eat lentils because they've heard that they're high in lectins. All foods have lectins. Meat has lectins too. So it's impossible to avoid lectins. What you do if you have a lectin sensitivity is prepare your food properly to break those lectins down. And that is true for the plant sources as well. And so soaking your beans and lentils overnight and then rinsing and cooking can help reduce your lectins. If there's leftover water from cooking your beans and your lentils, you can discard it instead of consuming it, because that's where the lentils will be floating, suspended, after cooking. So for those of you worried about lectins, soak your lentils overnight, rinse them, cook them, and rinse them after you've cooked and drain out the water, and you'll be okay. So basically, lectins can be good for us to some degree because they actually help us to fight cancer and lower cholesterol, possibly help with heart disease. So there may be reasons not to try to reduce lectins completely. So again, only if you know that you're sensitive, worry about it. Otherwise, don't. All right, so let's go over to the pot. I'm going to add olive oil and this to let it simmer a little bit. All right, let's go up a bit. Oops, wrong way. And we'll add some light. Okay, so we're going to add some of our extra virgin olive oil. I've got a non-GMO variety here in a dark glass bottle that I store in the cupboard out of daylight. I'm putting in about 2 tablespoons. Let's put that on a low heat. So I've got it on about 4. And we'll go ahead and throw this in there. And we're going to simmer it a little bit to bloom the flavors, the compounds of the garlic and the onion. I don't like to use plastic. I'm using just a bamboo spoon. So we'll just mix that around. And you're going to saute that until it's a little bit translucent. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on that, but while we're letting that happen, let's go over to rinse our lentils, just because sometimes in food processing, other things get into your packages that are similar size. So we're going to rinse. So I've got my organic green lentils. Now there's different kinds of lentils. You could have red lentils, which are going to cook differently. They're smaller. Black lentils. There's all different kinds. Like anything, there's many varieties. This one is an inexpensive, common kind to find. Okay, so I'm making a cup of dried. We're going to rinse that. And if you see any stones, obviously you want to take those out. Sometimes, again, thanks to their similar size and weight, they can pass through the food facility, bypass their sifting, and sneak in. And you don't want to accidentally eat them. Okay, looks pretty good. Okay, let's take a peek at our sauteing onion and garlic. So I'm just stirring that a little bit. Let's go higher, because in a minute we're going to need to put the heat high up anyways. And let's go ahead and add the lentils. So I'm going to go ahead and pour the lentils in here. Now some other options to pre-cook is adding some finely chopped carrot and celery, which is basically like a sofrito, common in Central and South America. So I'm going to stir the pot, kind of pre-cooking the lentils without any water yet. Another little trick that I've learned from Colombian friends. This is how they cook their lentils. Okay, we're going to get some water to add. So we've got a cup of lentils in there, so we're going to put about a cup and a half of water. So that's about 12 ounces. Because in 1 cup is 8 ounces of fluid, when we're talking fluid cups. And let's stir that one more time. We're getting all the flavors to kind of bloom. Again, that's the purpose of this pre-cooking. Okay. Stand back when you pour your water. You don't want to get steam in the face and accidentally burn yourself. So give the pot a stir. Now another way I love to flavor my lentils is putting in dried mushrooms. This is something from my Polish heritage. We love to put dried mushrooms in soups, in rice, all kinds of cooked things. It just adds wonderful flavor, not to mention nutrient value. And did you know that eating mushrooms, a serving of mushrooms every day, can prevent stomach cancer? So why on earth would you not want to? It tastes yummy and is good for you. These ones are maitake, organic maitake mushrooms. I bought them at Central Market. Okay, so I'm going to let those soak into the fluid. Give it a stir. I'm not going to worry about them being big pieces right now. Okay, so now we'll cover the pot. And we're going to turn it up to boil. So turn your heat up high so that will bring this to boil. And we do want to make sure that the pot doesn't flow over. So don't go away too far away. Keep an eye on your stove. Now, let's talk about lentils a little bit. Lentils, what are they good for? Lots of things. Hang on. Let's go over here, away from the heat. Okay, so lentils, they are high in fiber. They are high in protein. For plant protein, this is a good source of protein because for every cup of lentils is about almost 19 grams of protein, depending which kind of lentils too. But this is going to cook into more than a cup, right? Because it's a dried cup. So I'm talking about a cooked cup of lentils. And also, it's high in fiber. So 1 cup of cooked lentils has about 16 grams of fiber. Now, it's recommended that we get 30 grams of fiber a day minimum. That's a minimum. We really should double that to prevent and reverse chronic disease like heart disease, obesity, diabetes, and so on. So our legumes and lentils are excellent for that because they're so high in fiber, and they obviously are free of any animal protein, which increases the risk of those diseases. So it's a good alternative protein to help you avoid the animal protein or reduce it in your diet. So it's nice to supplement your diet with more legumes so that you can reduce the animal protein if you don't want to eliminate it completely. Okay, so now it's coming to a boil. We'll talk some more in a minute about the nutrients. You can see my pot is steaming. You can hear it bubbling. Yeah, so it's boiling. So we're going to bring it down to a medium-low heat. Give the pot a stir again, just to distribute all of the ingredients so those flavors can really mix and so cooks evenly. We're going to place the lid back on. I'm going to just have it slightly askew, meaning it's not completely closed. It's just got a little bit of venting there for letting some of that steam escape. Okay, back to our discussion. So lentils are also really high in folate. Folate can also help us to reduce heart disease. The fiber as well, because it's been shown that increasing your dietary fiber from legumes can help to increase your good cholesterol. And hang on. Just love it when it does this. And it does this because of the weight of the phone. Okay, so the lentils also have the ability to lower your bad cholesterol. So they increase your good cholesterol, and they also decrease the bad cholesterol. And so another good reason to eat it. The other thing that lentils have are phytochemicals, as do all plants. So phytochemicals can come in a variety of forms. They're high in flavonols, they're high in phytochemicals, and some of these have been shown in studies to reduce risk for cancers, and skin cancer in particular with lentils. So that's interesting. There was a study done that indicated that it helped reduce cancer risk for skin cancer. So another thing to consider, it's got other minerals in it, including copper. Lentils are high in copper, manganese, and zinc. It's got other minerals too, but those are like some of the highest containing minerals in quantity in lentils. Also, some of the B vitamins, thiamine, B6. And so there's lots of reasons to be consuming this food for us that can give us some good plant protein as an alternative or a way to reduce our animal protein and improve our risks for and reduce risk for heart disease, diabetes. The fiber and the lectin has also been shown to help with blood sugars, perhaps. They're not entirely sure how with the diabetes, but it does seem to be studies show reduce diabetes risk, and I think it has to do with the fiber content, lowering your blood sugars and therefore reducing your insulin response, because that fiber is a bulking agent, right? So it's going to make you feel more full, more satiated, you're going to eat less, but it also helps to basically help things to pass through you, right, and not stay in the blood. So, okay. Things are still cooking. I think we're going to come back in a minute when it's done. Basically, you just have to watch the pot now, keep stirring from time to time to make sure things aren't burning and getting stuck, that it's, you know, the water levels reducing at the right rate that the lentils are cooking. That's true for any beans. You could do it in an Instapot and remove all of that process worry, right? So you just push a button, set the time, and it's done for you. But if you're cooking on the stove, then you got to watch and make sure that the heat's not too high, the water content's enough, stir it regularly so it doesn't burn, and then it's cooking at the right rate. It doesn't take long to cook lentils, so we actually are almost done. Let me show you. So you can see, perhaps, that the water is almost absorbed. The lentil pieces have gotten bigger. Let's try it out. So I've taken one piece. So you know by the tenderness if it's ready. So it's still a little bit firm. We don't want to overcook them though, so we don't want them to be mush. Unless you're making a dal, like that Indian dish, dal, D-A-H-L, right? Maybe I spelled it wrong. Then we want it perhaps to be a little bit soft, and that's why there's different lentils for that purpose. Like red lentils are great for a dal because they are so soft. But this kind, which could be good for salads, then maybe you don't want to cook it quite that much, so you can still be intact when you sprinkle it on your salads. I'm going to use this for the next few days, so I'm going to use a cup here or half a cup there, add it into my stir fries, add it on top of my salads, in different kinds of salads, in terms of like maybe it's more like a cold chili, or not just on top of like a green salad, for example. You can add just a little bit of goat cheese, some seeds like pumpkin seeds or sunflower seeds, so you increase your protein, but it's not that much animal protein if it's just a little bit of cheese. And I mean, eliminate it completely if you want to be vegan, or if you have a lactose intolerance or allergy to the proteins in cheese. But otherwise, a little bit's okay here and there. But yeah, you get the idea. There's many, many ways that you can throw it into anything to just increase the nutrient value, including protein, fiber, and some of those other nutrients we talked about, your folate, copper, manganese, zinc, vitamin Bs, and all those phytochemicals that do their magic in our bodies to prevent and reverse chronic disease, including cancer, heart disease, diabetes, and so on. Okay, I think actually we're done. And when cooking just that small amount, it didn't take me a full half hour. All of the water is almost gone, so I'm going to leave the lid off now. Switch hands there, because I'm right-handed. So that we can let that water evaporate off. So that's one trick to cooking it, controlling, you know, how it doesn't burn, but it cooks till its tenderness is what we want it to be, and not overcooked and not burning. So take the lid off, allows all that steam and water to cook off faster, because I think it's cooked enough and we don't need to keep it on here longer. So let that steam and water evaporate. I'm going to turn down the heat as well to reduce its cooking speed, because I don't want to overcook it. Stirring it helps to evaporate that water off. And now every time I scoop my spoon, you see that there's no more pooling of water. So we're done. Let's take a little piece out. And we'll taste it. Oh yeah, tenderness is perfect now. So I can take that off the stove. You can always let it sit a little bit. If you overcooked it slightly and it's sticking to the pot, then you can always put the lid back on, take it off the heat, put the lid back on, let it sit for a minute or two, and anything that kind of got stuck on or burnt a little bit is going to now loosen from the moisture. So just leave the lid on, let it sit for a couple of minutes, and then you're good. Sorry. So that's it. I hope that helps. And actually that only took 15 minutes, so it fits into my 15-minute meals. I started at 4:30. And now it's 4:45. So that's it, even with me doing things slow because I'm explaining everything. So I hope that helps to give you an idea how to cook lentils, what you can do with them, the nutrient content, why you want to eat them, why they're good for you. I only did minimal flavor. Notice I didn't add any salt or herbs. You could. Careful with the salt. I prefer to add the salt to my plate, and since I'm going to use this over the next few days, I didn't add any salt. So when I incorporate it into my meal, for the meal that I'm eating that moment, then I'll add some salt, a little bit. But yeah, I also minimized the flavorings because I'm going to change the flavors as I use it. I'm getting some already from the mushroom, onion, and garlic, but on the days that I cook with it, one day I might use some curry, another day I might use some rosemary and basil, parsley, you get it. I'm going to change it up each time so that I have some variety. So again, hope that gives you some ideas of ways to cook with it, why you want to, how you can use it over the next few days. I store it in a glass container as always in the fridge. Just don't leave it more than a week. You want to eat it within the next 5 days. Okay? Bye for now and enjoy your plant-based meals. See my other videos for more ideas. Thank you.